to order the Tuesday, March 26th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation. If we could please have a roll call by the secretary.
Jonathan Stuchel.
Present.
Tom Rolfson.
Present.
Bob Culbertson.
Here.
Joe Brickler.
Here.
Peggy Brickweg.
Here.
Ray Culbertson. Allie Palmer.
Here.
Chris Sauer.
Here.
Chris Schildmeyer.
Present.
Amy Osmali.
Here.
All right, you all have a copy of the minutes from the, well, actually it says January, doesn't it? Does that need to be corrected, or is that? That's what I printed for today.
They are the February minutes with the wrong title.
Okay. Sorry,
So,
are
motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
or are there any other
Or
correct?
are
Are there any other corrections? To accept the minutes as printed, as corrected?
In action item 1B, Ray's name is misspelled.
Do we need a new motion? Are we good? Re-corrected?
I don't think we did it.
Corrected second time? That's right.
Correct the correction on top of the correction? No, I think we've got it.
Okay, treasurer's report.
All right, the balance at the end of February in the Fifth Third Bank account was $343,534.95. The First State Bank was $3,362.06. That concludes my report.
Okay, so as far as our first action item, update on the relocation specialist in progress. She is working diligently to assist us in those efforts, so we don't have anything further to report. And also, as a breath of fresh air to everyone in the audience, we are not going to be making a request to go into executive session, so you will not be left in the dark for 15 minutes. So, but again, she is working diligently to assist us in those efforts, and hopefully we'll have an additional update by the next meeting. And as far as the next item, the election committee did have a meeting today at 5:30 to discuss the upcoming process that we were going to present to the entire board for the election of officers and how that could be done in a staggered manner so that it's offset, so that we're not just turning everyone over. So I am actually going to turn that over to our secretary, Meredith, to run through with everyone to present this option.
So the proposal that we have come up with is that we will cycle trustees, or we will put 3 to 4 trustees up for election in April of this year, a different 3 up in April of next year, and then the final 3 in April of 2026. That way, we're not turning over an entire board at the same time. We've tried to prioritize the groups of people for each year for who has been on the board the longest, middle, and shortest. So we have a collection of names, but so in April 2024, so next month, the positions or the trustees that would be up for re-election or for challenge, obviously, would be Amy, Ray, Bob, and then there would be an open position for resident. And then in April 2025, it would be Jonathan, Tom, and Joe. In April 2026, it would be Chris Sauer, Chris Schildmeyer, and Allie Palmer. Questions, comments, concerns?
And while we're at it, so whether you want to announce what your intentions are, but it might make sense as to how there is a vacancy.
So the open resident position would be the position that I'm currently filling. I am still happy to serve as an advisor, but I think the way that my role has developed within the CIC, it makes it more sense if I am on the outside looking in versus the inside looking out. So I will be stepping down.
And just as we have previously done, and I don't know whether people remember this, but of course, within our regulations of the CIC, we are able to have advisors, and I'm able to appoint advisors. So Meredith actually previously was an advisor before getting elected to the board, and she served in that capacity very well. Of course, we have had Taylor on board as an advisor as well. And I kind of, I mean, initially, of course, that it hurt to hear her say that she wanted to resign, but her willingness to still stay involved, and the fact that she's been continually representing us in a legal capacity at times, yet serving as secretary, I think it's probably in the best interest for everyone for her to be able to do that. And of course, she enjoys speaking, frankly, so I think she would like to speak to us as though we are her client.
No comment? Sorry, we would hold the elections next month at the regularly scheduled meeting, which would allow us to post for both the vacancy and allow for anybody who would like to challenge the existing board members, and that gives them a 30-day window to decide.
And at that same meeting, after the first 4, individuals are voted in, that we will then start from scratch as far as for the actual officer's position. So basically for president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer would all have to be reappointed and approved by the board.
Are the 4 positions, other than obviously the open resident position, are the other 3 being advertised as their current allocation?
There will be, yes, we will state the fact that there are 4 open positions, 2 of which are resident positions, 1 elected or appointed, and 1 business representative. But, the intention of the 3, being Amy, Bob, and Ray, I believe, or,
Well, time out. I think it's 2 elected positions, 1 resident, because I'm elected. So me and Ray would be the elected.
So even considering you as there's a statutory minimum for the number of elected or appointed officials that have to sit on the board.
Yep.
You put us well in excess of that, so your position can either be elected, appointed, or resident, or,
but it's what you are
Or
now at the time
both.
of reelection,
yeah,
more or
I
less.
think it's
So
what you are now.
you would be filling that of a resident position.
Because if somebody fills Ray's position, or if Ray fills Ray's position, then we are still in compliance as far as the appropriate ratio.
Got it, okay.
So we will advertise this appropriately in the village newsletter, make sure that it's on call command, announce it at the upcoming council meetings, to encourage anyone that wants to get involved, has an opportunity to do so. But I think this makes the most sense, and, we went back and actually looked, so, we can't say that it was just us, this actually happened even before, and there was a plan in place. So to cycle people back out. And so with this being said, we could use this just kind of as the foundation of, because again, it's supposed to be a 3-year term, so they would then be able to get back on track by operating in this cycle, on a continual basis.
I say, I think we need a motion to approve the proposal as presented.
I'll second it.
On on the motion to approve the proposal for the election cycling as presented, including the fact that Amy, Ray, Bob, and an open position will be up for reelection in April of 2024. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Joe? Yes. Peggy?
Yes.
Ally?
Yes.
Chris Sauer?
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer?
Yes.
And Amy?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
As far as third item, sale or redistribution of remaining items left in the bank and loan center. We're working on taking an inventory. The VP is going to go back and look at everything again. We actually are allowing some other departments within the village itself to utilize some of the equipment. So the Historical Society is in need of some filing cabinets, which they will be repurposing those downstairs. The Recreation Department will be able to repurpose some shelving, a refrigerator, but there still are gonna be remaining filing cabinets. I mean, just a plethora of filing cabinets. So there's other items that we can look at, desks, and try to determine if there's, whether or not we can get a company that's interested in coming and putting a bid in, or whether or not we end up having a community yard sale. But, you know, basically the bank is pretty much left intact. The loan center, itself, we still have all the filing cabinets that we've moved up there. So we'll try to have an inventory to see, again, if there's any that we can put out to any other departments as well, to see if there's a need. But Tom will be heading that up. But we don't have an inventory right this moment, what's remaining based upon the current departments that have said they'd be utilizing things. So that's all gonna be, inventoried, and Tom will have that. As far as property maintenance, just like to get a grip on that. We've already obviously awarded the mowing contract. And what I would like to be able to do again ahead of planting season, I'm assuming, Chris, you might be able to speak on behalf of.
The Garden Club requests the privilege of doing the gardening down at the shopping center.
So with that being said, last year, I think we asked for 2,000 roughly we didn't even use that, but to cover the purchase of mulch and flowers, which I think would be an appropriate amount. But again, I don't think we'll be even using close to that. It was just enough to cover the flowers, and then we still are gonna have to do some touch up on the mulch, but, we'll work on that. But even though I have said I really prefer not to totally do the mulch myself, we might need to try to work on that and not farm it out, but just because of the reduced, revenue from our tenants, we need to watch that, so. But I think if I could just, have the coverage for up to 2,000 potentially just for our annual purchase of, again, flowers and mulch, that would be great.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we allocate 2,000 for mulch and flowers.
On the motion to allocate $2,000 for mulch and flowers for or up to $2,000 for mulch and flowers for the shopping center. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Joe? Yes. Peggy?
Yes.
Ally?
Yes.
Chris Sauer?
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer?
Yes.
Amy Ismaili?
Yes.
All in favor?
Okay, at this point, does anyone on the board have anything under open discussion or additional agenda items that they'd like to bring up? Tom? No. Anyone in the audience have anything under open items that they'd like to bring up? All right, well, thank you again for attending this evening. I show our next meeting is Tuesday, April 23rd, here in council chambers. Is there a motion? All right, thank you.
When's Pizza Hut's last?
It's supposed to be the end of the month.
sure I use my points.
They're having a difficult time, so.
They are. Just when not finding a spot.
I know they want to stay in St. Barbara, there isn't anything.
Yeah, so we gotta get rid of that, place up there by, St. Bernard Market and see if they can go there, but clothing store.
So that is, so the one option.
I think that's on the short
kind of
list for
trying to
Ace.
see if we had
Or
to
not Ace,
put
yeah, Ace County.
Ace in St. Bernard. That would be the only real.
Real place.
Yeah,
But I think it'd be a better business, so.
no, I agree. No, we're all done. We adjourned.
We're done?